So Google just released their new Google algorithm update. And this core Google algorithm update has been released in June 30th. So I think they should have just named it the July core update. But basically, I'm gonna break down in this video exactly what's been going on in these past couple of months and what to expect with this new Google core algorithm update. So we can see here we've been due for an algorithm update pretty soon. Last algorithm update was in March 2025, and compared to like the previous years when it comes to algorithm update, like we've been getting a lot, and it's been extremely volatile when it comes to the SERPs, which is only natural. You have like ChatGPT coming into with competition with the generative search, so there's a lot of more of changes when it comes to user search behaviors as well. And then there's like other competitions as well, like people using like Perplexity for searching, Claude, and more having a chatbot experience. And then more of like the search engine market share has been increasing as well too, with Bing starting to get more of like that market share, especially since like ChatGPT is using Bing to pretty much scrape their data for their generative results. Yeah, you can see it recently rolled out June 30th. All right, so let me break down exactly what to expect with this new June 2025 Google algorithm update. So the first thing I just wanted to point out is there's been a lot of reporting, even just looking at some of my clients' Google Search Console data. There's been a huge increase of mass de-indexing in May. So a lot of pages have been being de-indexed, and here's some like screenshot examples of that too as well. Even like pages being indexed but blocked through like robots.txt has been seeing more pages being affected through that. And then even just overall the community has been conversing, seeing pretty much similar issues and stuff. Pretty much the reasoning for this increase of mass de-indexing within Google is, my assumption is there's too much crawling going on, the spider crawlers. So pretty much they're trying to budget more of this, since it can be extremely expensive, especially how they have the new AI mode that has been implemented. That's going to be pretty much scraping a lot more of like these Google searches and stuff like that. So it just comes down to making sure your content is high quality, but not only this, but you have really high domain authority within your site, and creating internal links to pretty much pass on more of like that link juice, since a lot that's coming into play, especially with like ranking in AI mode, is brand is becoming much more of an important factor than ever before when it comes to ranking in AI mode in general. So that's number one thing Google has been prioritizing, is pretty much trying to budget for the mass spider crawlers that they're pushing out for like this new AI mode that's scraping a lot of data as well. So what are the sites that pretty much are getting rewarded that we've been seeing in the last couple of months? So number one, of course, it's going to be Reddit. And this should be expected because they do have a partnership with Google, and pretty much Google is using Reddit to pretty much train their new AI model and trying to analyze how UGC type conversations are going. And also people find more value into Reddit since it's more of like a community conversations going like around pretty much to answer and match the intent they're searching for based on, their search queries. But you can see here like Reddit has been exploding recently with an increase of traffic month to month. And then same thing when it comes to like organic keywords. And what's interesting is a lot of these LM models like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and then also like just AI mode in general are using Reddit as a main source of citation. And aside from this, also Wikipedia. I'm gonna also create a video diving deeper into pretty much the specifics of the citations and how they work and stuff. But pretty much the main thing you want to focus around within this algorithm updates, trying to integrate more of like that brand mention organically, obviously within Reddit, since the Reddit community could be ruthless. But this is something that if you really are interested in gaining more of like that visibility within different LM models and generative search, Reddit is probably like the number one platform you should be focusing on, pivoting and inserting more of like that brand mention within topics that revolve around the industry that pretty much you're trying to market towards too. But what's interesting as well too is just in general, a lot of these social media platforms are seeing increases month to month, seeing more of like increases when it comes to like ranking within specific keywords, like YouTube, which is the second largest search engine. And then you can see here TikTok as well, like they're seeing consistent growth overall. And Instagram seeing growth, but saw a slight decrease within this month. But this is all done for a reason. And I'm gonna dive a little bit deeper into this, but the thing I just wanted to cover into why Google is prioritizing a lot of these social media platforms is because there's too much of an abundance of content being created, and content being created at scale due to AI. So it's not really providing a lot of value, especially when it comes to training their AI models, like the new AI mode that recently has been released within May 20th. Now, I found something really, really interesting as well too. So recently, Google has been pretty much issuing manual actions on scale content abuse. So people have been getting penalized for pretty much creating content at scale, which is something you should be really, really wary of. And they pretty much want to minimize the use of it. And we know from previous pretty much search algorithm updates with the helpful content update, it's been affecting people who had like really great content and has been labeled as pretty much not helpful content. So they pretty much just backtracked on that. But people still haven't recovered from the helpful content update. So I think they're pretty much taking a new approach. And then we can see here, John Mueller was at the Search Central Live Madrid. And it's pretty much a slide going over how they're going to be implementing more of search quality raters. And it's pretty much a guideline when it comes to this. And it's going to be more of like a rating. So if I zoom in here, we can see here the lowest rating applies if all or almost all of the main content on the page including text, images, audio, videos, is copied, paraphrased, embedded, or AI generated. So pretty much they're trying to crack down on AI generated content or low quality content with actual search quality raters. I don't know how this is gonna come into effect scale since there's constantly a lot of content being pushed out, and the only way you can pretty much analyze if content piece is high quality is through like an actual human, not AI, judging from what happened before with the helpful content update. So this is something to really look out for and to try to really obviously create content that's high in quality and try not to spit out a lot of like wording that LLM would spit out that's pretty like low in quality and not just one shotting prompting like, your content quality. And why are they doing this? Obviously to train the new AI mode and trying to get more high quality answers since AI mode is pulling all this information from other web pages, which is affecting pretty much more of like top of the funnel type traffic since people don't really need a look into a website page since they already met the intent based on the search they're searching for. That's like maybe it could be question based, which is typical for top of the funnel, which is why you should also just try to pivot more of your marketing strategies geared towards more of like middle of the funnel or bottom of the funnel. Still good to have top of the funnel just so you can build more of like that topical authority and establish more of that EAT. But again, I think the main shift coming forward when it comes to the June algorithm update is to focus more middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, and then trying to scale out through a lot of these different platforms that are pretty much being used to train or just to pretty much be cited through like a lot of these generative models, mainly within Reddit and YouTube, and then pretty much just splitting your long form videos into like TikTok videos or even like Instagram reels in general. But yeah, it's becoming more of search engine everywhere instead of like just search engine optimization within Google. Obviously, traditional SEO does still play a part, is extremely important. But again, like trying to branch out and push more of like your search engine optimization, doing the keyword research on these different platforms would bring in more of that yielded benefited results into your marketing strategy. But yeah, some quick highlights. Pretty much Google is trying to make the shift and probably make their AI mode into the default search. And pretty much the efforts of this June algorithm update is to improve the overall quality of the output for the AI mode and still obviously going through a lot of testing and stuff. So that's pretty much the main gist of things and where you should be focusing based on this June core algorithm update. And I'm just going to quickly go over a quick checklist of what you should be doing every single Google algorithm update. So you pretty much know where you're positioned, where your brand's positioned, and just overall in general of like your competitors. So number one, obviously monitor any changes. You can look at your Google Analytics and your Google Search Console data. If you don't have that set up, I strongly suggest you do, since at the end of the day, pretty much trying to see where your marketing is at falls under the data and the trends as well too. And then you can use a tool like SEMrush Sensor to pretty much give you insights into how volatile the SERPs are, and then you can also categorize it by different industries. And then in the last like month or two as well, like it's been extremely volatile. We can see here just overall it's in the high range. It was a lot higher the previous month, but again, this can give you pretty much more insights into the SERPs features occurrence as well too, like what's the overall increase when it comes to like AI overviews or just local packs, and pretty much gauge the overall just trends when it comes to that as well. Then at number two, make sure to check for any manual penalties, since they probably start implementing a lot of these manual penalties often with the changes within the algorithm. And some websites might not abide from these changes that have been made. So just go to Google Search Console, just double check, and then you can just scroll down to security and manual actions and see if you have any like manual actions. And if you don't, you're in the clear and you should be good. Another thing is to make sure you monitor the SERP rankings, look at your keyword rankings, see if you see any trends in like a lot of uptakes or downtakes for the keywords you're ranking for and also the competitors. Obviously, it's going to be really volatile once an algorithm update is pushed. So just be patient and just closely monitor what's changing, what websites have been affected the most in terms of traffic that has been decreased. You know which pages you should be working on, what's increasing, so you can probably just implement whatever strategy you implemented within that specific page to your other pages. And then also just stay consistent at number 4. Keep uploading content and creating backlinks. At the end of the day, like, Google pretty much prioritizes fresh content and consistency. So that's something you should be always doing, no matter if you still see like a huge drop. Just being consistent and continuing, you would see either a bounce back or just more of like an increase from wherever you are currently positioned. And then number 5, be patient. It does take time for everything to roll out and come into effect, but just closely monitor everything and you should be good. And yeah, and again, it's everything is still new, so there's not much data to go off with. So I'm gonna keep closely monitoring any changes, and if I do find anything significant, I'll let you guys know, and I'll create another video updating you guys. And there is a link in the description below as well too, where you can get a free video SEO audit for your website specifically, with tailored strategies into improving how to get more visibility within the search, but not only within the search, but within generative engines like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and the new AI mode. So if you're interested, click the link below and I'll get back to you with a free video audit. And if you guys found value in this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.